Welcome to the Fray Flak Pack. It's Termex here, and welcome back to another Wonderlands video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over 10 things confirmed for Wonderlands. Now, all of this is based off the trailer. All of this is based off of interviews with Mr. Cox. That, you know what I mean. And this is all just confirmed knowledge that I want to share to you guys. And we're going to start off with number 10, which is melee weapons. Yes, Wonderlands is going to have melee weapons. And honestly, this seems pretty freaking cool. If you look in the trailer here, I'll show some clips. I'm not going to put the trailer on repeat necessarily. But you can see that there is quite a bit of melee weapons. I see a few legendary melee weapons, a few great axes, a few battle axes, and even a, larger karambit style of sword. Now, I'm not good on the whole sword melee names, so if you guys know what that is, tell me in the comments. We could also see in the trailer that there's times to where some of the weapons could actually be thrown, and we see these melee weapons in your secondary hand being thrown at enemies, and it looks so cool, dude. I'm just curious, are you going to be able to just have these melee weapons out by themselves, or are they always going to be a secondary attack type of option? That I don't really know. Now, the second thing confirmed for Wonderlands is going to be 6 skill trees or classes, depending on how you look at them. But you're going to have 6 different skill trees in Wonderlands, and you're not going to be locked to a specific character or a specific class, but you are going to have a singular class until you respec and have a secondary class, quote-unquote. So you're not going to be very secluded to what you want to build your character for. If you want a character that probably deals a lot with explosives, I'm pretty sure that will be a build option, or a character that wants to do more melee, I'm pretty sure that will as well. And overall, I think it's a very healthy thing for the game. I don't see it being a negative, more as a positive in terms of build possibilities and build diversity. But I am curious if you will just be able to just switch whenever, like a new U station sort of deal, or if it's going to be more of a you're set in stone with that character until you make a new one, kind of like Destiny is. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a new U station to where you could just swap out your classes. And that leads me into the third thing confirmed for Wonderlands, and that is spells. We have freaking spells, dude. That's crazy. We're going to be having different spells. Looks like we have a cryo spell, we have a skull summon spell, a fire spell, a blood spell, maybe, but we have so many different types of cool spells. And honestly, I'm excited to get into these. I've read a lot about it, and I've seen some interviews, and apparently spells are going to be almost like a rolled part. If you don't know what I mean, let's say I have a spell called the Legendary Fireball, right? If me and my buddy have the same spell, I might have different rolls like cloning and homing, and that will change my spell into a cloning, homing fireball. Basically, that's what they were getting at in this interview by the looks of it. And if that's the case, that's honestly pretty cool. That rolls are going to determine what your spells do, and maybe you're never going to have the same 2 spells as your buddy as long as you maybe farm for the right rolls. I see some two-handed spells in the gameplay, so I wonder if you can mix and match and maybe have some specifically two-handed spells and just not even rock a gun, but I guess obviously we're going to have to see. And now the fourth thing confirmed for Wonderlands is going to be fully customizable characters. Yes, you're going to customize your character's voice, your character's race, your character's sexuality. Let's just hope they know that there's only 2 genders. It looks really cool. You're going to be able to be an orc, it looks like, maybe a druid-esque type of enemy, an elf. All different races and different beings of a person, I guess. The more mythical bunkers and badasses type of races. And honestly, this is going to add a lot more personality to your character, and the custom voices are going to be pretty cool. And since they are adding custom voices, I'm hoping for maybe more character dialogue. Like when you and your buddy are playing, maybe your characters talk to each other in a firefight. Things like that. Kind of like in the pre-sequel, right? I hope something like that makes a return, because that has a lot of potential. Maybe you can buy voice lines from a certain vending machine, maybe like the equivalent to Earl's vending machine. And the fifth thing confirmed for Wonderlands that a lot of people are going to be either angry or, I guess, more sad about is Anointments. But wait, before we get our bunkers and badasses all in a bunch, this I don't 100% know if it's confirmed, but I'm going to show a screenshot on screen here, and it looks like the legendary weapons in the trailer have the same beams as a anointed legendary and a non-anointed legendary, and this is consistent through the whole trailer. and it's just like Borderlands 3 beams in terms of an anointed weapon or not. And this has me a little worried. And honestly, I don't know if this will fit better in this type of game with melees and spells and abilities and blah blah yada yada. But I'm really hoping it's not like Borderlands 3 to where these anointments are relied upon in terms of endgame content, because I rarely post. I don't even think I ever posted a build on the channel that didn't have anoints, because anoints are just a part of the game and they're a part of endgame and getting everything in check with the maximum amount of damage. And I wouldn't really want to see Wonderlands falter to that type of standard in terms of anointments. But maybe it's something different. Maybe it's like spellbound anointments or a synergy. Maybe it has nothing to do with anointments and it's just a different mechanic entirely that we don't know about. But whatever it is a special role for only legendary weapons exclusively. It might not be anointments. I think it would be kind of cool to see if maybe it's a spell type of synergy, to where if you're using a fire spell, this gun does more damage. I would prefer that over something like cast a spell and do 100% more damage. You know what I mean? I don't want that to be the meta. And now the sixth thing confirmed for Wonderlands is it takes place before Borderlands 3. This game actually takes place directly after Borderlands 2. As we can see in the trailer, there is still a young Tiny Tina. And this is basically her playing Bunkers and Badasses DLC. God, I don't even remember which. I know it's Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep from Borderlands 2. I just can't remember what number DLC that DLC was. But that's basically what Wonderlands is. It is the Dragon Keep DLC within a game, and Tiny Tina looks like she's going to be the narrator of this story, which I think is pretty cool. And it takes place before Borderlands 3, so maybe we're going to see some more story elements, but we don't know in terms of the storyline and all that. But it is going to be canon, not canon in terms of the actual game, but it is canon that we are playing Bunkers and Badasses with Tiny Tina, if that piddles your pickle. Now, the seventh thing confirmed for Wonderlands is weapon manufacturers. Yes, they are back, and they have some pretty nifty names. I'm going to pull them up on screen right now. I actually got these courtesy of Jolt's Dude on Twitter, and quite honestly, they look pretty nifty. I'm not going to lie to you. If we look here, they were confirmed by the Bunkers and Badasses board game. Apparently, they were in front of our faces the whole time, but all the manufacturers goes as follows. Jacobs is now Black Powder. Vladov is now Stoker. Dahl is now Dahlia. Dahlia? Yeah, it's Dahlia. Maliwan is now Male Factor. That's a weird one. Tedior is now Furior. Bandit / CLV is now Skulldugger. Hyperion is Hyperius. And Torg is still Torg. Of course, Torg is still Torg. It wouldn't be Torg without the Torg, am I right? And honestly, seeing weapon manufacturers come back is a good sign. It's going to probably make this game feel more like a traditional-esque Borderlands, and I'm just excited. I think the weapon manufacturers coming back is an amazing thing. We're probably going to see some returning legendaries from the likes of Borderlands 1, 2, and maybe even 3. Just please don't bring back the yellow cake. Thank you very much. But honestly, I'd love to see like an infinity pistol back in Wonderlands. I feel like it would just be, I don't know, it'd be funny to see another infinity pistol in another game. I think it would be cool. But all these weapon manufacturers are confirmed to be in the game. It's not confirmed as Gearbox is like, yeah, these are in the game. But if we look in the trailer, Furior is in the trailer along with the Hyperius weapon manufacturer. So this is definitely the manufacturer names for Wonderlands. Now, the eighth thing confirmed for Wonderlands is bows and crossbows. This is huge. Honestly, seeing bows and crossbows in a Borderlands game is pretty freaking crazy. We can see handheld crossbows that look like they're manufactured by Dahl, and even one that's manufactured by Hyperion by the looks of it. I could imagine a automatic hand crossbow that gets better accuracy as you shoot it, and that seems pretty cool. And we do see a not a crossbow, but more of like a primitive pole bow that has multiple arrows. It reminds me of Ivara's quiver, her arrow ability in Warframe. It looks exactly like that, and maybe it's also an ability in Borderlands 3. All my Warframe players, you know what I'm talking about. I'll put a picture of her bow on screen. The Artemis bow. Yes, it just came to mind. It looks like the Artemis bow. And honestly, this is pretty cool. I've never seen a Borderlands game with crossbows. I mean, you had the Minecraft crossbow from Borderlands 2 if you did the Minecraft Easter egg. But other than that, I haven't really seen a bow and arrow, and I think it's going to play really well. I don't think they'll be overpowered, but maybe they'll present a new piercing mechanic that we haven't really seen in Borderlands. It would make sense considering it is a bow and it pierces through things. So fingers crossed it has some cool mechanics, but I think it'll be very satisfying using some bows in Borderlands. Now, the ninth thing confirmed for Wonderlands is it is 4-player co-op, and this is also a nice thing. It follows a traditional Borderlands formula in terms of 4-player online co-op, but there is nothing confirmed nor denied for crossplay. And now this is honestly a good thing. Now, let me tell you why. The fact that they openly said that it's 4-player co-op and didn't deny crossplay right away, this is just going to show that crossplay could be a future thing depending on how licensing goes. I'm 99% sure Xbox has no issues with crossplay, but you know, we got to deal with PlayStation again. But maybe Gearbox will learn a thing or two from the amount of time it took Borderlands 3 to get crossplay. Maybe earlier in launch, Wonderlands will support it, because Wonderlands is pulling in some crazy view numbers across all platforms. The YouTube trailer for Wonderlands, I believe, got 100,000 views within like the first 5-6 hours. It was number 13 on trending, like overall YouTube trending for a while. So Wonderlands is definitely getting some eyes on it, and crossplay would be a pretty big selling point, and probably a very important thing for the future of the game. And now the 10th and final thing confirmed for Wonderlands is raid bosses, endgame content. Yes. Now, in this interview that I read about, and I read the article about things that were said in said interview, apparently that every DLC is going to have a form of raid boss as opposed to a storyline DLC. Like, I don't know. In my personal opinion, I would prefer endgame content over storyline. Wonderlands doesn't seem like a continuational story-driven game, in my opinion. It seems more like a fun fantasy. It looks like one of those games you're going to have a lot of fun just loading up and playing with your buddies, and I think that's going to be the strong suit of this game. Endgame contents and raid bosses, and raid bosses being back in a game like this with spells, maybe new team synergies, classes, is going to be pretty freaking awesome. We're not going to be secluded to just 4 characters and their abilities, but we get whatever we want to do. And it's almost taking the direction of, I don't want to say an MMO, but something similar to like an MMORPG. But obviously Borderlands or Wonderlands isn't a MMO by any means. But the format of being able to switch classes whenever you want without making a brand new character does feel very MMO-like, which I personally pretty much enjoy. And quite honestly, I think raid bosses are going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun experiencing some classic raid bosses again. Borderlands 3 definitely did not deliver in the raid boss department, and I would like to see more raid bosses and more content, but I want to see fun raid bosses. No Vexidius, please. No. But yes, guys, that is 10 things confirmed for Wonderlands that I have stumbled upon informational wise, and this is going to be my first Wonderlands video, so I'm pretty excited for that as well. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys leave a like on it, as it helps me out a lot and it spreads my videos out more to the Borderlands and Wonderlands community. Make sure you guys subscribe if you want to join the Flak Pack and you never miss out on another video from me. And you guys have a terrific day, and I will see you guys later.